All right, there's some space weather news in that solar activity is so incredibly low that we have to ask ourselves, where have all the electrons gone? So let's take a look at spaceweathernews.com here. Here's our current 48 hours, our last 48 hours on the solar disk. Pretty massive coronal hole compared to what's been going on, rotating around here. We expect this to be connecting today, actually, and it looks like it's in the process of doing so right now based on the rest of the data. So let's have a look at that. All right, the X-ray flux, you can see incredibly low, incredibly flatlined, just in the A range. The BTBZ has kind of dropped way down. The phi angle looked like it was shifting around, and now it looks like it's equalizing. I think this is just before the coronal hole connects. As you can see, the solar wind density is very low, and the speed has come up a little bit since yesterday. Now, the magnetometer is dropping way down. Okay, so the prediction by me is that the electron flux is going to drop off as well at the same time the coronal hole connects. So we're going to have another one of these net proton events. And in my opinion, this chart here is where the news really is, because the low energy electron flux has been so low that they really need to add a 10 to the negative 2 power to this graph here. But if you can see, these drop-offs are typically associated with a magnetometer drop-off. So the one that's going on right now, this is the high energy portion of it is about to drop down too. So that's going to be an indication of the coronal hole. Perhaps the electrons are escaping first because they're less massive, but for whatever reason, that seems to be the pattern. We've had this incredibly low electron flux. And anyway, last but not least, here's the F2 ionosphere layer, which looks very weak. I mean, we've barely got an 8 megahertz section here over southeast Pacific there, just north of Australia and so on. So yeah, where have all the electrons gone? Well, we don't know, but we're going to lose even more of them. And when the coronal hole comes, that's going to have a higher net effect from the coronal hole's connection to the Earth. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, because we don't only do fake news alarmist weather reports, we do real science too.